It's worrisome if it says Heil. Why is the microphone telling me what to do? We're not supposed to do that. I may look Aryan, but I'm not. I'm not married.
All right. Well, it's a good start to it. We'll get started, I guess. Hello, and welcome to the Redefining Spirituality Podcast. My name is Brendan Van Wichen. I'm your host. This is my good friend Andrew Cass, also known as Thor, because look at him.
Hi.
And I've chosen to invite Andy onto the podcast because he has a very unique and interesting story. And I guess the way we met was through tree work, obviously, working together.
Through work.
But I think we kind of quickly connected because we both have long hair and listen to black metal.
Pretty much. And it's amazing how much that's enough. Even a band t-shirt is like, oh, hey. Hey, what works at the gym. It's no different apparently in tree work.
But Andy does a lot of cool stuff. He does work with, what would you call it, like a non-for-profit with Beard Villains. And
Beard Villains are just like charity. And, we do toy run organizations, work around men's mental health is kind of, support group is kind of the idea. That's that one. And,
so I think... we connected on like quite a few things because obviously like the tree industry is just crazy.
Crazy, but it's small. Everybody knows everyone.
Yeah. Everyone knows everyone, but it's crazy because you just get all kinds of different people in it, really, don't you? Like there's like the first person that comes to mind is Ruben when I think of
autism.
Just like the most
Asperger's,
just the most like craziest.
Mumbles.
The craziest, most like out of control person I've ever met. But that was the saying. Like I think that it was cool because you get so many different kinds of people within the tree industry. When you find people that you do connect with, because you have a lot of people who, there's not like a lot of. I mean, with any trade, there's a lot of like people who have like been in trouble in their lives and all that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, everyone's got a good story to tell about something.
Everyone's got a good story, and also because you're doing a job like it's in the top 3 most dangerous jobs in the world, I think.
Because obviously that involves America and places like logging
and all that.
I mean, you just look at the injury rate. You and me have both come out of trees, and it's not fun either time, and that messed me up for a good couple of weeks.
And so like in saying that, like you kind of have to be a bit crazy to be in the industry. And so you do come across
a lot of autism.
Just very a
lot of people after the serotonin and dopamine hits from swinging in a tree, literally, or just high risk. Because I mean, even on the ground, it's just as much risk with chippers, chainsaws, and
falling logs,
special people,
everything.
Pedestrians not realizing that a tree coming down is actually a dangerous thing.
Like the amount of people who just walk through the work zone. And
it doesn't matter what you put up. It does not. No matter how much we put physical barriers in the way, they just remove them.
Cones, barriers, tape, they still go under it. And
people, traffic.
Yeah, and then they'll, you'll tell them to stop and they'll stop right under where the person's in the tree dropping stuff. And
a good one was when we did the Monash night works for the upgrade, and they had full traffic setups down to 40 Ks and everything. And literally in between the two trucks, a dude just turned in and smashed into the back of one of the utes.
Really?
Yep. It's like 3 a.m, Alanzi and everyone was just like, bang. And they're like, what the hell was that? And they look around, some dude straight through everything. Because he thought that was the turn-off point for Wellington Road.
Man,
traffic people are in just so much danger because of this shit too.
Yeah, Jesus. I just thought it was like... Yeah, just cool. Like, and as I said, like, there's so many different characters in the industry that, like, it's, the thing I like is, definitely connected with you the most. Eventually, Daniel Ringer.
Again. A little bit of the Asperger's. Love the dude, though. He's doing good.
And, and then, like Declan as well. And I think, like, obviously, connect with the people who are actually doing good things for themselves because...
Quite chaotic, neutral people we are, funnily enough, too, that you picked.
But, people who lift weights and, like, that's what we have tattoos, long hair, lift weights, listen to super heavy music.
Brothers from other mothers.
Yeah.
For sure.
And that's it. But so I just thought, like, what would, so tell us a bit more about, kind of your story, your background, the things that kind of matter to you, even getting into like beard villains related things, because that was kind of, obviously you made your Facebook post a few weeks ago, which I kind of hit you up about.
Yeah.
And, you know, kind of thought that this would be a good opportunity to kind of talk about mental health and
stigmas
and all that kind of stuff. So
unfortunately, responses that we have to them still, even if we do talk about it, because I mean that's kind of what that was about. One thing I wanted to avoid with that post was attacking my ex, because that's not what it was about. It never will be. That's not the point about it. It was literally to do with an awareness, because what I do with that post is for the Distinguished Gentleman's Ride, where I get dressed up, I look dapper as hell, and you've seen me, I got the pipe in my mouth and everything, and it looks hilarious. It's currently still my profile picture is me doing that thing with the pipe and
riding the Grom
my Grom of all things, because I ride a Grom. You know, you would think I'd be on a big bike. It's like, nah, got a Grom that I'm trying to make like a little adventure Grom, because I can just pick up 100 Ks and lift it over something if I get fucking stuck. That's literally one of the reasons I've done it. Because that's where a lot of it stemmed from. I mean, that picture in particular that I posted with it was the point as well, was because that was at the very middle of the year when I was pretty much, I'd already had a crack at ending myself. Unfortunately, as an arborist, it was a noose. Well, I mean, I'm good at knots.
I'm quite surprised. Well, obviously not. You know what I mean?
No. So, how'd you do? It's like pills? I'm like, nah, fuck the pills. I just tried choking myself out. Which makes you question what I do for sex, I guess, more than anything. Here I am just obviously ripping on what I've done. But look, it was really rough time, and obviously go through that a bit more. But what I do obviously right now with my life, like I've obviously had to focus on gym a lot more. I've got a really good support network that's shown up, I think is a big factor, because a lot of people will ask you okay, but it's very, very easy to do the classic, I'm fine. And I just, for a whole year, all I said was, I'm fine, I'm tired. And unfortunately, you say it. You know what you're saying in your head, and it's absolute bullshit. Like, I was saying it, and I was tired of fucking living. I was so tired of trying to find a reason to keep going, and it sucked because obviously it was nothing I really wanted to bring up with anyone, because you try not to burden people's one issue and stuff. Like, it's pretty fucked. So, like, I mean, for me a bit more, like, I do powerlifting strongman, because I find that's a huge community. A lot of my friends in the gym, powerlifters, funnily enough. A few gym bros, of course. There's always a gym bro. There's always fun. And then, you know, even at the strongman stuff like that, they're fucking just so lovely. All those people, like, everyone thinks that they're unapproachable almost. They're just as nerds. Like, they're all nerds. Like,
they actually are.
Gym bros are just the same. They're nerd, because a nerd is just somebody who's very, like, passionate.
I think, like, one of the main prerequisites I've seen for any, like, strongman is that they watch Dragon Ball Z.
Seems to help.
Like,
it's that and anything with Schwarzenegger. Because it was always bodybuilding was in there, because even Eddie Hall showed that one. And it's like, for sure, you've got to have a few of those role models.
Like, they're, like, all of, like, I know a few people who are, like, you know, full on into, like, dedicated weightlifting and everything, and they're all, like, just nerds on the inside. Who just like watching anime and playing Magic the Gathering.
Oh, shit, yeah. I do all that too. You can literally name a nerdy thing. I've either done it, do it, or thinking about it. Like, you just look at my PT, James, he's the nerdiest nerd you'll ever find, because his Warhammer's actually fucking elite.
Right.
He's actually got his own page for it and everything, and it's like world-renowned almost shit. Like, people around the world are looking at it.
Yeah, that's wild.
And just about every of the other fucking gremlins and goblins that are fucking powerlifters, all fucking, I can't speak sometimes. They're all fucking big Warhammer nerds. Tolkien lore, full blown. And if you don't know Tolkien, you will if you hang around enough of them. I luckily did, so it was no shock. It's just what happens. Like, you find those people and you just mesh with them really well. And it starts off with the one thing, then you find out more and more about each other. It's just kind of how it works.
And it was like, because I was kind of thinking about it. As I said, like, I was thinking of kind of things to bring up, but I found it was kind of like, going back to how you were saying about how, you know, you used to say, like, I'm tired, but I'm just like, I'm good kind of thing. But I always found it funny because, like, we had, like, our relationship has always been kind of interesting, because I've always been you know, like doing the spiritual thing and the positivity, and like you'd like our entire thing is that you'd just like intentionally send me like self-depreciating humor shit, and I'd just like angry react it every time. It was just like,
such a cunt.
It's like I get it, but this is so unhealthy for you. Like,
you're not helping you or me. No, I definitely don't come to help anything, but I do come a lot. I told you, it's going to be editing in this, bro. I've avoided slurs.
Maybe that was the intentional failure of the noose that you had up there. You're like,
yeah, they're no fun. Don't use a noose. Just don't do it. My suggestion. Like it's still shit. I mean, like I've had to deal with a bit more shit coming my way lately, and it's a bit of like one of the problems that comes up is one that. It's not just a spiritual question because it's a really obvious spiritual question. It's actually one as a person that you kind of have to do. And it's like, what the fuck's my purpose? Particularly when you lose so much.
Yeah.
And, you know, I essentially lost everything. I'm literally back in my fucking old bedroom when I was a kid. It's really, really fucking defeating. And, you know, a lot of people do, you haven't failed, you're not defeated. And it's like, well, you are, and you do feel that way. It's very hard to avoid that.
And it really, I think it really, because I definitely had, not as it, because like obviously you ended up, you know, like had a failed marriage, you ended up having to sell your house, all that kind of stuff. Like I didn't necessarily go through that extremity of it. Like a number of years back, and this is kind of where my journey kind of started, was that, you know, I was like in love with a girl. We were together for 3 years. You know, moved in together, had our own place, had lots of joint things, all that kind of stuff. Like massive friend group, like constant parties, constant like just things always happening. And yeah, it got to a point where, you know, I realized that things were just not improving. Like things were just kind of slowly declining and getting worse and worse and worse. But I kind of, you know, I knew that I needed to do more with my life, and I was trying to push for more, but, you know, trying to cater for all these other people who had a lot of issues going on, it was just destroying me. And, you know, I remember it was, what would have been 2019, like mid 2019, I was, you know, running my own business, like detailing cars, and just hated it. Like I was thousands in debt to the bank, you know, slowly beginning to like get late on my rent payments.
Little things building.
Yeah, and like the relationship was failing. You know, I remember I'd I'd look forward to arguing with my partner because it meant I would be able to sleep on the couch and be able to rest properly for the night.
That's brutal. Fuck.
And, you know, and like as well, like it was pretty full on, like experienced, you know, with her, like she attempted suicide twice, which managed to save her from.
That's good.
And yeah, like there was a lot involved with it, but yeah, as I said, like mid 2019, you know, hit this phase where I was like just above 50 kilos and I'm fucking 6'2", you know what I mean? Like that was...
Yeah, you're pretty skinny. The Divine Lanklet, is that time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You were one hell of a string bean there, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just hit this point where I was like, no, you know, like I want to have a family in my life. I want to have, you know, a future and all this kind of stuff. And I think I was 25 at the time, and I was like, I need to end this. Like this is not right. Like how my life is. And then ended up, you know, making a massive shift where I was just like, I need to like figure out what my purpose is. And I knew that, like I'd already been kind of on the spiritual path, but you're still learning things at that point. You're still kind of figuring out how to implement them and how to trust your intuition and trust like the universe, so to speak. It's
even a bit of the old gut instinct sometimes is really the big one that a lot of people sort of find most common, because obviously some people don't click with spirituality, even though you end up with some level, no matter what. I've sort of realized in time, it's no matter what you do, you don't have to be religious. It's not sort of about that. It is literally, I mean, it's basically just therapy in a different form. Because and we can obviously going through that.
And we can touch on that later, because I've got a pretty like, what's the word for it?
Intimate knowledge.
Like a pretty good philosophy on that. Sorry, but yeah, I just hit a point, and I was like, because when you're in this depressed state like this, just when you're around people who have just like this low vibrational frequency to them where they're just not taking care of themselves, they're just not doing anything to help themselves, you begin to realize that the way to actually bring yourself up is to find, you know, things that bring you fulfillment and things that are like soul nourishing activities. And, you know, when you're not sleeping properly, you're not working a job that you like, you're not connecting with your partner, you're not around people who share the same values as you. And, you know, when you're in that state, you don't feel creative. You don't feel like you have...
Well, you lose all your passion.
Yeah, and I found...
And passion was the word I used in my post because it is passion. It is a powerful word in reality because it's used so much in poetry and for everything else for a reason.
And... But yeah, in the end, I was like, you know, I want to create music. I want to like pursue spirituality and practicing all these kind of things. And I was like, and I just had this moment where I was like, I'm clearly not enjoying my job. I don't know like what I'm doing here. I was kind of like talked into doing it by my old man because that's what he kind of was doing.
The trade that follows the family line. It does happen pretty commonly.
And, but yeah, I just had this moment where I was like making no money and I was just so stressed. I hit this point where I was like, I need to change everything. And I was like, I need to change my job. Like, this is just insane. And I was thinking about it. I was like, all right, well, what have I learned from this? I like working outdoors. I like doing labor. And I was like, you know, I like nature and all this stuff. And I was like, but I don't want to like...
Landscape or
I don't want to do landscape or gardening or anything. And then I thought about it and I was like, shit, like climbing trees and playing with chainsaws could be pretty cool.
It is. It fucking is.
And I was like, man, like...
It's every kid's dream, man.
Yeah. It's
power tools and trees. Like, come on.
And I was kind of like, you know, aside from that, I was like, all right, what's like the coolest job that you could have aside from being like a rock star or a motocross rider? And I was like, man, yeah, like climbing trees and swinging around and doing really dangerous shit and lifting 40-kilo logs and chipping them and, you know. And
then feeling weak still next to Big Al. Man is a beast.
Yeah. But
still going.
Yeah, that's how I got into the industry is I was like, all right, I'm going to make this massive shift. Unfortunately, there's not much money in the tree industry. So
no, we still fall under as landscaping guys. Our bracket, technically the highest wage is supposed to be about $28, which... when you consider the risk we have versus a landscaper or a gardener who usually call us in to do the big work that they don't want to do. It's interesting. It's a lot of love though behind what you do, and it's usually you do find a purpose in this work. And like for me, I love the retention, going in for hazard trees, the sort of crossover we have with ecology, because obviously chat out with Loz, but you know, all the time with southern flora and fauna ecology because it's so sick. It's so cool when you get to fucking rescue animals. It's so cool when you catch them and get to release them to safety. And so it stopped the little buggers from trying to go through the chipper because for some reason just that lemmings direction. Into the frickin' chipper. What is it with the frickin' retails, man? They always do it. Like big brushies, no, they come at your face and that scares the crap out of them. They just death stare you.
But it's always like one of my favorite things as well is when you climb up a big eucalyptus or something and you're 20, 25 meters up and you look next to you and there's just a tawny frogmouth owl pretending that you can't see him, and he's just like, you know, acting like
give you the dirtiest look as well.
It's like, dude, I see you. You're right there. Like,
well, one of the girls who does climbing with one of the other guys I know who's in the industry as well. He's a strongman. She does strongman. I competed alongside her at the competition I just did, Lena Kublis, and she literally got attacked by a tawny frogmouth.
Really?
Yep, they'd had a crack at her. He was the grumpiest looking motherfucker ever too.
That's awesome. But as I said, like sometimes, you know, as I said, like when, you know, had to kind of like leave that relationship, move back home, like quit the business that I tried starting,
which is always financial strain when that shit's not
like,
going right.
Lost my whole friend group because they were involved with the relationship and everything. And then, you know, I'm like back at home, heartbroken, like skinny as fuck, like no money, and I'm just like,
the fuck,
like what the hell just happened? Like what was those past 3 years?
It's deafeningly silent in that moment.
Yeah, but you know, the way I kind of looked at it is I was like, okay, like I feel like I'm back at square one now, but I feel like I'm on the next level. You know what I mean? And that was the main thing. I was like, I'm gonna take everything I could learn from this, and you know, like. It was unfortunate because my partner at the time, like, she was in a relationship within weeks following that, and
not healthy, by the way, guys.
And you know, like, pretty much everyone in that circle continued their drug habits and continued to kind of go down the path that that they were all on. I mean, like I haven't kept tabs on all of them or anything like that, so some of them might be alright, but
you hope for the best.
Yeah, but you know what I did is I was like, man, I need to like take this on board. Like I need to not be in a relationship for at least 2-3 years, focus on myself, focus on my job, start earning like good income, start eating better, sleeping better, exercising more, taking care of myself. And then, you know, now, you know, it's been 5 years since that. Like, you know, the path kind of took a bit longer, but
path doesn't have a time frame. First thing to remember with that, because it's like everyone's like, within a year. This way, it's like, nah, man, bro, like. Every rich motherfucker does the same thing. They kind of like, you know, most of the ones who actually made their life, it's like, no, like, come on. Well, Colonel Sanders. Yeah. Old man was like 60 when he finally got that shit. It took ages. Banks didn't want him. All that kind of crap. Like, shit can take time. And this sort of thing, when you're going through so much shit, you're already in such a fucking hole, like, absolutely quoting Alice in Chains, down in a fucking hole, but goddamn singing Nutshell at the same time, because you're like, I might as well sing my own fucking song of death. And you can't think past where you are in that dark moment. And that's what really sucks, because you don't understand even how time's flowing at the time. And I literally could not remember some of the days or weeks that I was in there. There's times where I don't remember parts of last year because I just had no idea. I was autopilot as fuck. And it sucked. It sucks a lot. And then, you know, things do start happening. Sometimes they're still not good. Because unfortunately, it feels like life's a little bit on the nut-kicking path lately for me. But I mean, I'm still alive. I've still got a lot of people around me that remind me they like me. I might not like myself much at times. As we know, my jokes are very self-depreciating, which I've been told off in therapy and by many people. Yeah, no, seriously. Therapist hates me. I've gotten like a free half hour out of her, and she costs like $2.30 a session. Oh, wow. Even with the government rebate, that shit's expensive. Worth it though, like, because I was in therapy originally with the purpose of trying to save my marriage. Didn't happen, clearly. So, you know, I was knocking therapy pretty hard just because of instances prior. I was pretty much against it. Like, I'd seen instances with my family and it didn't work. So therefore, it creates a very skewed view of it. I've seen other people who have gone to therapy and it's done a lot for them. And unfortunately, my view can still be skewed at times because I guess I'm just old and bitter at 34.
But I think as well, like at the end of the day, you know, like therapy, it's a give and a take. You know what I mean? It's just you still have to do the work. Like you can't just rock up and them tell you some stuff and be fixed. It's like, no, you need to. I think it's you know, you go in there and it's a safe and gentle environment toward confronting yourself with the things that you're responsible for in your own life. Oh yeah, there's some hard pills to swallow. Yeah, there is, and I mean it's pretty hard already when you're already crying your fucking eyes out. I can't swallow at that point. Not a swallower either, guys. Tangents. There'll be plenty of them. But as I was saying as well, like I'd noticed like a pretty big improvement just in your just overall energy, you know, months leading up to that post. Because, you know, I guess it was one of those things because I was always like, I can tell Andy's like depressed, but at the same time, it's like, you know, he says a lot of shit too. I'm not gonna like, I don't really like, there's the thing of like asking if someone's all right, but they have to be willing to kind of want that help in a lot of ways, you know what I mean? That's the whole "Are you okay?" thing. Like it's a really solid thing. Yeah, it just comes in many forms that everyone kind of forgets that not everyone responds verbally. As hilarious as it might be. Like, and it's sometimes you have to just give it the right instance. Like for me, I blatantly lied every single fucking time for a long time. The one time I kind of really started breaking down was actually at work. Lanzi had noticed something was wrong with me months prior. A few other people noticed I was getting quieter, which, as we know, I'm not quiet no matter what time of the morning. It'll be 5 a.m. and I will start screaming obscenities, which sucks for any neighbours I'll ever have. But Alfie, our HR, one of our bosses, approached me. End of the day sort of thing, was the first one back in a truck by myself.
And he just walked up and said, "You all right?" I just looked at him and went, "I'm fine."
Yeah, right.
And he said, "A few people have said something's up." And I've just looked at him. He's like, "You sure you're all right? Like, you can tell us."
Yeah.
Next thing I know, and I just was like, "No, fucking nothing's all right. Everything's going to shit. My whole life's going to shit. I got shit going on with my wife." She had just moved out of the house at that point too. It was October, which really sucked because I hadn't been alone for 10 years. And I was so scared of losing her. And I mean, it's happened anyway. So it's been the biggest fear I've had to confront in my life. And, you know, I'm breaking down, going on. Catherine's wanting to leave me. I'm trying to sort my marriage out. Things aren't going well. I'm struggling with work because I'm trying to turn up. I'm not sleeping. I'm not eating. I'm not training. I have no passion or anything. And I think I'm losing everything that I've worked so hard for in my life. And unfortunately I did. It sucks a lot because I lost everything, not because I didn't try. I had to come to terms with I tried everything I could with what I had. It's unfortunately sometimes it comes down to people can change, and people's opinions of you can change. And it's really shit when you're pouring everything you've got. Yeah. And that was, I mean, funnily enough, you did a post the other day about it, and it's literally you're pouring so much energy into somebody and they couldn't really care in the end. It's shit. Yeah. Like it. It was brutal because, I mean, I hadn't come to terms with even crying as a male much at this point. I cried a few times in my life, the classics, you know, you have a death or something. I mean, I think I remember crying for a guinea pig when I was 12. I love that little guy. I cried when I lost my grandparents, obviously, but that's kind of the only times I really cried. And I do remember my dad kind of being that guy of, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. Because he's gone through a lot of shit himself, and that's his response. So I adopted that response, and not a good idea.
Yeah, and I think, no, that definitely is a thing, like the whole... boys don't cry kind of thing. I think bullshit. Well, I think it's a tricky concept because I do like I'm very big on crying, like in the sense that, you know, there are like toxins that build up in your muscles that are released through your tears when you actually cry, and there's like even on a non-physical level, like there is like built up emotion builds up in the muscles, and like when you cry, that is a very cleansing, healing thing to do. It's
stress relieving, following up a simple one.
And like, you know, I had a very big, I think I did the same, like again, after my breakup and everything, because I remember, after everything had happened and I was back at home. It was on like the Labor Day weekend, so it was in March because we broke up on Valentine's Day.
Jesus Christ, come on.
We started dating on Valentine's Day and broke up on Valentine's Day.
That's a little too poetic, man. Come on.
I know.
Jesus.
And the wildest thing as well is that I had, so that particular partner, like I had a dream about her 2 days before meeting her. And I even have it written down somewhere. Like it was that intense that I wrote the dream down, and then a couple of days later met her.
So vivid as fuck.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Astral projection level shit.
Yeah. And so, I remember after we broke up, I remember, I got home. Oh, it was so bizarre. So I had this cat as well named Kitty.
You had a cat?
Yeah. She was sick. She was a rag doll. And, but unfortunately, my sister got her for her 17th birthday, and then the cat didn't like her. And
are you trying to tell me your sister's not a nice person? Animals don't like people. That's more judgmental than people not liking them.
I'm not saying anything. And then, I kind of like inherited the cat, and like she named it Jasmine. I was like, you're not naming the cat Jasmine. Her name's Kitty.
Kitty.
Oh no, it was Kitty until we found a better name, and that just stuck. But
well, I mean, all I'm hearing is Monsters Inc. right now.
But so after I moved out, Kitty lived at home with my parents and that, and then she ended up developing this like nearly unheard of disease. I don't know what it was, but she basically, her kidneys stopped working correctly, so she couldn't hydrate from drinking water. She had
renal failure almost in the end.
Something like that, but but it was specific to her breed, which was a ragdoll.
I have to ask Lindsay that one.
And so, the poor thing, man, like, basically the way for her to hydrate is we have to get these like fluids, like with B vitamins and stuff in them, and get the scruff of her neck and stick a needle into her and hydrate her that way, like
almost
2 times a week.
intravenously, essentially.
Yeah, and and like after I moved out and she was kind of in the house on her own, like you know, my parents were about to like split up, and there was a lot of just turbulence in the house.
Yeah, that's always fun when that happens,
which was
too.
pretty rough.
Hey.
And so anytime I'd come home and visit, like Kitty would be like, where the fuck have you been? Like, kind of thing. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. And I'd have to like win her affection back. And then she's finally like,
they are spiteful creatures,
you know,
aren't they?
eventually I'd win her, you know, because I used to just sit at home and play Destiny or League of Legends, and she'd just hang with me all day. And then I just disappeared. And then she's just exposed to all this like drama all the time. And then, you know,
she's supposed to be worshipped like a god. They haven't lost that Egyptian sensation, bruh.
Yeah. So, you know, I'd come home and I'd have to win her back over, and then I'd eventually like be like, then she'd eventually like be like, yeah, all right, fine, you're forgiven, kind of thing. But then, you know, I'd go back home and life goes on. But after the breakup, it was so it would have been like the very start of March, so like I think 2 or 3 weeks after we split up. Moved back home, and it was Labor Day weekend. It was the Friday, and I was like, oh, I can finally like hang out with Kitty again, like, and make it up to her for all this time. I remember I sat down, I was in the lounge room with my mum, and I was just like, you know, she was like, you know, what happened, you know? And
it's always fun to discuss.
Kitty comes along, she jumps up, I'm like, hey, what's going on? And she like meowed at me and sat on my lap for about 2 minutes, and then she's like, oh, I'm gonna go now, and like goes downstairs, and I hear this like wow, like this noise. I'm like, what the hell's that? Go downstairs, and she's just died.
That's fucking brutal.
Yeah, like straight
and not
up.
in the good way. That's just brutal.
like straight up. You know, like waited for me to get back and said bye, and went downstairs and passed away. And I was just like, damn,
that's not
like
fun.
That sucks.
Like,
like I was really looking forward to, you know, making up for.
It's one of those like, you know, already feel like you kicked in the nuts so much, and then it's just another thing after another thing.
But so she was like alive when I went down there, and her heart was going like fluttering, and then made this noise, and her eyes like dilated, and then she was like gone, and I was like, whoa, like that was
brutal.
That was intense.
That's not what I expected on the afternoon.
But and I remember so that weekend, I was in the house on my own, and I was I was sitting there, and I just had this moment where I was like, what the fuck has happened in my life? Like, what the hell is going on? And, you know, I started
it's
like...
been me the whole year.
You know, and I started looking back and just thinking like, you know, just trying to think of like just when I was happy last. And I started looking back, and I was like, no, like before this relationship, I wasn't happy. And I had another relationship before that, and I wasn't happy then. And, you know, I wasn't happy in high school, and... You know, I looked all the way back, and I was like, the last time I was actually happy was when I was like 12 years old.
Yeah, well, of course. Pokemon was really cheap.
But and I had this realization. I was like, no, when I was 12, like that was the last time I was genuinely like joyful in my life. And I was like, what happened? What happened?
Yeah, well, of course.
And then it kind of, you know, I started looking back, and I was like, okay, like, you know, these certain things happened in there. And then when I went to high school, I was just like, as you were as well, just bullied like fucking crazy, and you know, went through that experience, which
while trying to find yourself, because it's that classic coming of age,
and I think as
doing
well,
dumb shit you shouldn't, or getting into relationships that did not help.
But I think as well, like, you know, being you know, exiled, so to speak, like in high school is what led me to discovering metal. And
well, you find the other exiles, funnily enough. Weirdly enough, and because of the time, it was either emo music or metal, which, funnily enough, we had a very bitter rivalry then, and we still had the bitter rivalry with deathcore when it first came out, which was hilarious. It's all Suicide Silence. And it's like, now I look back and go, Suicide Silence is so awesome. God damn it, I love him.
Damn it, Mitch Locker.
Damn it. It's like, oh, he was good. We just didn't know. It's like Job for a Cowboy comes out and defines a genre.
Yeah.
No, but that's true. With high school, it's a very pivotal point for a lot of people, because it's like I went to a weird school. I went to Sherbrooke Community School and stuff like that. And
it's when you you don't get your full freedom, but it's the first time you're kind of allowed to discover things for yourself.
It's time to start testing
outside
boundaries.
of home. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We're not talking about stealing shit from the cupboard. We're talking about, well, unless it's the alcohol and that's where it's stored. But it's like, we're trying to test, like, can I stay out late? Can I catch up with these friends? Can I go do this dumb thing?
Can I sneak out?
Can I sneak out? Can I do something illegal and not get caught? Because we all did dumb shit.
Yeah,
it's part of growing up is learning. And either you reflect on it and go, wow, I was a dumb fucking kid, which I really like go back and I look, wow, it's really dumb. Or you go, oh, that wasn't so bad. And then you keep repeating mistakes. And it's like, wow, you didn't learn, did you?
But I was in this state and I was just like miserable. And I was like, what's my life become and how'd I get here? And I remember I decided to like pick up my guitar and just like started playing like the Werewolf tracks, but just on the clean channel and finger picking them and stuff. And I was like, man, I feel so alone. Like no one fucking cares about me. Like all this shit happened. And before I knew it, as I was playing these songs, like it connected myself with myself again. Like I didn't realize the importance of the music that I'd written in relation to myself, and that, you know, these songs weren't just something I'd created. It was like an expression of who I am and, you know, my soul, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And as I'm playing these songs and I'm like, I feel so alone and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, actually, no, like I know these friends have my back and this and this and this. And next thing I know, I'm like crying and I'm like, oh, okay, like what's going on here? And, you know, just realized, because, you know, even with my ex, like there was like a major suicide attempt that happened where basically she like overdosed on a bunch of pills, and I was like, we were arguing about something I can't even remember, but I'd like left the house and I was like, I'm sick of this. And then she sent me like a text that was a bit strange and I was like, something's a bit off.
Yep.
And so raced to the house, broke in.
To your own house.
Yeah, and she had like overdosed on all these pills, and for whatever reason, basically whatever she had taken threw her into like a psychotic seizure fit where she was like throwing herself around the room. And I quickly like ran out to the car to get my phone to call an ambulance. And by the time I got back, she was like bleeding and bruised and like full.
Smacking your head against the wall.
Ended up like wrapping her up in the blanket and like wrestling her onto the bed to kind of hold her there so she wouldn't hurt herself anymore. And yeah, when we got to the hospital, like it had turned out that, you know, she was very deep into a drug spiral and, you know, and like all this kind of shit that I had no idea about. And, you know, she ended up not in a coma, but she was like fully out and covered in bruises. Everyone in the hospital was like looking at me like I beat the shit out of her.
Yep.
And
stigma. You
know, her family rocks up and they see her and they all just like break down into tears. And I was like, well, I can't cry now. Like someone needs to hold space for this entire family. And, you know, and I took that role and I suppressed everything and never cried about it. And afterwards she even brought it up and she was like, you didn't cry like at all. Like that's not good. I'm like, no, I just know how to like make a positive out of, you know, the things I go through, and
it's very easy to get around that word.
All that kind of stuff. And then, and then when I was just like playing my guitar and in this state, man, like it just came out, and like everything that I'd been through from the age of 12 up until 24, 25 at the time, just like, I reckon I cried for 2 hours straight. And it was just coming out. And I was like, man, I feel so alone. Like I've just gone through this whole thing and I'm like trying to find myself out. And then I remember I was like sitting on the floor, just kind of like sobbing about this stuff. And then my dog Xena kind of like saw me and like came up and like snuggled up against me. And I was like, oh my God.
Do not deserve dogs. You do not deserve dogs. They are too beautiful a creature. And proof that action over words when it comes to love.
Yeah. And, you know, that was the first time that in my life that I had felt that someone was there for me, because, you know, with all these friends that I had and my partner at the time and all that, like I was the strong figure in their lives. And yeah, just to have another being to hold that space for me and to comfort me. That was the moment, like me and my dog Xena, like just like we're inseparable now. Like we're that's it.
Yeah.
And
spirit guide.
yeah, and then on top of that, I remember, that night, that was the first time I also listened to like one of my favorite albums of all time, which is like Continuum by John Mayer, and put that on, and like, because I've always been into music, but I never quite got the whole like music saved my life type thing. Like I never understood that or anything like that. And put this record on, and the lyrics that he was talking about were exactly the things that I was experiencing at that point in time. And
Always seems to be the way, doesn't it? You pick the right music sometimes not a good thing, because you can go into the death spiral, so to speak, with some music.
Yeah, like there's a song called what's it called? It's called like Dreaming with a Broken Heart, I think it's called. And it's just like the most depressing song I'd ever heard in my entire life. Like it broke me. And I was like...
Yeah, I remember having one of those moments too, actually. In the midst of everything, it was literally... She'd already been gone for a week, my ex. And we'd literally had a really shit day at work, like a proper shit day. It pissed rain.
They always are shit.
We were on a contract that got underquoted because they missed 3 large trees to come out, and I had to get the big truck all the way over to a spot where as soon as it started raining was going to get bogged. And that was the case. It got mega bogged. I got the 16 so bogged that even the mech couldn't put out. Big 5-ton excavator couldn't even get it past. We were digging more holes. Ruined this school's field to the point we got in trouble for it because it wasn't even supposed to go across there. Yeah, I had a bad day. And amongst all that, I had this shit day. Didn't get back home till about 6 o'clock. I'd already been up since 4 o'clock because it was an early start. I get home and every one of her clothing, every piece, socks, everything, gone. No warning, nothing. I start panicking. I start freaking out. I send her a message going, is this how you tell me it ends? She sent me a message back going, no, that's not it. I want to fix all this. I want to sort all this out. And I'm like, you've taken every single one of your clothing. And she's like, no, I just like to have options, was her words. She'd always said that through our entire relationship, so I just kind of went with it. And you're in a little bit of denial with how bad things can be sometimes when you've got hope. And mine was probably a false hope. But I literally was sat at home, drenched, fucking boots that are just saturated. It's so
rough, man, when you have a wet tree day, isn't it?
I had a fuck day. I was having to sit on the floor with a fucking hairdryer to try and dry my shoes out because it takes 2 to 3 days to dry them out.
Mendel's?
No, the Big Andrews, the big weatherproof. Yeah. And I'm on the floor drinking whiskey, trying to dry my hair. I went through half a bottle that night. And I was listening to a song by Woods of Your Priest, and it's called Shards of Love.
Yep, I know it.
Yeah. And I even sent it to my friend, who she's been going through so much shit as well.
Yeah, David Gold, he passed too soon as well.
Yeah, well, he got a car accident in Canada. What do you expect?
Yeah.
He was too apologetic to the tree. But I'm sitting there listening to that because it's literally that happening around me. It's me clamoring, going, what about this? What about that? Don't you remember the good times? And she says, what about this? What about that? Don't you remember the hard times? And it's like, well, I'm trying for the good still. She probably had at that point already made a decision, just didn't want to say anything because there's tons more shit that went on even after that. And yeah, it's just one of those things when you're sitting there, even though the music's so loud, like I was sitting in this house, like the house that I had to sell and work so hard to get with her.
Yeah, because I remember like even like the just talking to you all the time about the financial stress that you're under just paying for that house all the time. Like, I think you were saying your entire paycheck went to the house and...
Just about, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I did everything I could to try and make our lives a bit easier. And one of the things like I didn't. She gave up on this big trip to Japan that we were meant to go on. Like,
have you been to Japan?
No. That was the problem.
It's so good.
Exactly. Don't fucking rub it in. Everybody's gone and they're about to up prices on shit. Because that was the thing. Like, that was one of those goals that we both sort of like, she was going to finish her diploma in arboriculture and then we were going to go on this massive trip. And then she just sort of found ways just to get out of it and find a way around it, which I don't know if she did it as much on purpose. Obviously, you look back, you kind of think it is because they don't want to have to, have those memories, commit to that. I don't know if she'd even gone as far as to think financially she doesn't want to give up all that money. Like, you just don't know. I'm never really going to know, which is one of the hard parts about this kind of shit when we go this deep, is you can want all the closure you fucking want from everything. We always want closure. It seems pretty fucking human. But you're never going to get full closure from some of these things. And you just can't keep trying to fucking get it, because it's actually a waste of time.
Yeah.
If you just hold on to trying to get closure, well, then you're going to hold on to something that's not there to begin with. And if they're already moving on, you're just still stagnant and dying.
Yeah.
And it was just, it's a whole fucked thing of, sure, I could ask for every answer in the world and probably get every answer. It doesn't make it any better.
Yeah.
It's already fucking happened. It's already fucking shit. I've already gone through the worst of it. Well, I think. Don't test me, universe. Please.
Be gentle.
Oh God. I'm pretty sure my sperm count's down from the nut kicking. That says something.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that's it, man. Like, if there's anything I've learned is that, the challenges you face often are like equal to the growth that you need, if you know what I mean. And I've always found that that's the choice you have. It's like we're all here to grow and to try and reach our purpose and to have the best time we can. And when you are when you're going down this spiral and you're not paying attention to the things you're meant to be doing in your life, and and again, like it can be tricky because a lot of us aren't taught that we can achieve what we want. It's you inherit the beliefs of your family and your parents, and if you have I know a lot of people who
that's a therapy one right there. I keep getting in trouble in therapy for that shit, and I'm like, how can I get in trouble? I was a child. It's like, come on, what does little Andy want? I love that one. They keep bringing up little me. I'm like, fuck, do you know little me? He was also suicidal, guys. At the age of 8, I was trying to jump off things I shouldn't. Not actually joking, actually. That's the weird part there. Like, that's how far back this shit can go.
but it's tricky because one of the main things I try to, the message that I try to put out is because there's so much unhealthy things going on around the world, and a lot of people have this perspective of if I don't do it, someone else is going to do it, kind of thing. It's like they see this as a situation that's unfixable, but the truth is that you do have to start with yourself, because when I try to talk about, working on your mental health, taking care of yourself physically. And again, as I said, I've spent 5 years dedicated to myself without sleeping around or partying and doing drugs and all this kind of shit. I was like,
big old lot of small acts.
Yeah. And
it really is.
But the reason I do these things is of course, it's for myself, but I also want to show other people how healthy doing something like that is, and the results that come from it. Because we obviously live in hookup culture and all that kind of stuff. And
thank you, fucking apps. That shit is dangerous, by the way.
But one of the things that I mainly see, which is really quite dangerous, is because obviously we have our limitations of what we're dealing with at the moment. There's inflation,
cost of living, it's raining
now. Yeah.
The
cost of living is crazy. And with these dating apps and everything, the thing that I'm seeing a lot is that people are hooking up, but because they're hooking up and they're having fun, although perhaps they're not actually in love with one another or connected in that kind of way. They've connected simply through
penis
the
to vagina,
the dopamine release,
or whatever you're into. Looking at you, furries.
They get addicted to that dopamine release, because a lot of the time, most people
it's a quick fill of the void.
Yeah, it's a quick fill of the void.
And look, that's a pretty common thing.
Yeah.
And it's funny because of the horror stories I've heard behind some of these dating apps, particularly for people slightly older.
Yeah.
Obviously, I am. Technically, I'm middle-aged. Would you believe it? I'm not lying about my age when I say I'm 34. People go on these apps, and a lot of the time, due to the age gaps and everything, they're copying a lot of the younger generation or younger people who are after the quick hit because they're young. They
want to explore.
They're fucking around. They're exploring themselves. Yeah. Whatever. Have fun. Wear a dinger.
Yeah.
Just wear the dinger, guys. We get it. We know raw dogging's fun. We're all there. We're all for it. But wear the dinger, avoid the STD, and then you can't complain later when you get the clap.
Yeah.
Doug.
You save yourself 18 years of, potential torture for yourself because, again, like as I said, like people are hooking up and, there's also a thing that happens where, because at the same time, like they may not have a reciprocation for what each other are after. Like one might just be to have fun. One might actually be looking for something.
Exactly.
And before you know it, one's getting more possessive over the other. That's causing issues there. But like the moment you accidentally knock someone up while you haven't actually...
We are talking about whoopsie babies here, are we?
Yeah. But when we haven't...
That's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. And like, because that's happening a lot because there's so much more access to just getting laid quite easily. And with inflation and stuff, we're now like seeing a lot of families that, are renting, don't have their lives sorted out, can't financially support for this. And, and this next generation of children are going to inherit those limited beliefs of what's actually capable as well. And that's what I mean by it's so important to kind of live in a way that gives other people hope and striving to achieve the things that you want to achieve. Because even with this, I've got cool guitars and belongings and started a podcast. Now I've started, my healing business. And plus I've got my band and I'm, working for myself as an arborist and all these kinds of things. Like these are all major goals.
Talk it up to me, why don't you? Right now?
But these are all major goals that I've set out for and I've achieved them in a relatively small amount of time as well. Just to prove to people that if you want to achieve something, you can actually do it. And, which leads back to the fulfillment factor. And that's where I think a lot of this depression comes from and a lot of the anxieties and stuff is that people don't have that or haven't been taught that they can find fulfillment in chasing their dreams. And they often just inherit their parents' beliefs of just work the 9 to 5 and watch the news and
don't watch the news.
And get takeaway on Friday nights or something. And it just leads a lot of, people just to feeling unfulfilled and just coasting through life. And when that happens, because for me personally, I've always found that the reason I don't do a lot of stupid shit that a lot of people do, I don't do cashies after work so I can get a bag on the weekends. And
who could you be talking about, eh? Funnily enough, not me. I know that much.
But still never done it. Doing bags on the weekends and partying and taking drugs and even just doom scrolling and binge watching shows and just doing vicariously living through these other mediums. When you actually have a goal in your life that you want to achieve and you start following that and you start getting that fulfillment, the dopamine release, the serotonin release, endorphins, whatever else is involved with all this kind of stuff, that you'll feel it inherently that is more valuable to you than doing these quick fixes.
Well, it's the big thing of the small things again. You just keep adding up. My big thing is don't be a dick. It sounds so simple, but don't be a dick because there are so many already out there. Don't add to the fucking problem, but it applies to everything in the world of don't be a dick.
Yeah.
Because it's too easy for people to turn something into a personality or a simplest put, religion can be the big one. I'm going to just bring it out there. It's you can be religious. I don't care if you're religious. I've got guys who literally are God-loving people. But they're not dicks about it.
Yeah.
I have literally been a teenager at Flinders Street Station having someone scream at me saying, I believe in Satan. I am no better than a piece of dirt. Don't be a dick and I won't be one back. It's a real simple fucking theory, but it's so simple.
But again, I think that all comes down to fear as well. And the thing that I've found has helped me a lot is, and it was... who said it? I've always tried to figure out a way to explain this. It was actually Dr. Joe Dispenza who made a post about it on Instagram where he was kind of talking about abundance and what to live in abundance actually is. And he put it so perfectly where he said that abundance is the act of letting things flow freely in the natural state, whereas it's the opposite of trying to control. So when you're trying to, for example, prime example, say you're trying to set up a date with a girl or something, and she might.
Do I look like I do that? Do I look like what plans do you think I have?
No, but for example, for example, you're interested in someone, and
I just keep acting weird.
But,
I want to see how unhinged I can get before people just start going, all right. How unhinged is he in real life? Not very. I'm really weird at home. I just sit at home right now and don't do much. I go to the gym for like 2 hours. I'm really fucking boring.
But like you can feel that, like you might be interested, but then you feel them kind of like pulling away, and you keep trying to, make it happen. That's the opposite of abundance. You know what I mean? That's trying to force something. Whereas when you live in abundance,
don't force shit.
Accept the things that are coming to you, and
if it's not going in with lube, don't do it. We are. Oh.
Is that not what we're talking about?
What? I mean, lube comes in many forms. Jack Daniels or KY jelly. Or sometimes olive oil.
I've heard some bad olive oil stories as well, man. It's not good.
Yeah, my friend did the same.
Oh, fuck.
Glad it wasn't me. See, learn from others' mistakes too.
No, but as I'm saying though, like to live in a
the free of everything. Like how things just flow. Like if they're not trying, why are you trying so much? Sort of thing.
And it ties back into like not being a dick. Like if you're not a dick, then people who are of a similar nature will gravitate towards you, and that's the abundance of it. Whereas, if you...
Shit comes back to you too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, not so much the karmic realignment crap, but like good shit comes back because people see you just not being a dick to them when they're having a hard time. Like, because everybody is going through their own shit. And it's one of the problems I've kind of had with going through this for myself is I've had a lot of people not wanting to talk to me about their shit. Like I have a couple of the boys from the Bearded Villains that I chat to here and there. They're going through their own shit. One of them's having a lot of struggles at home, his wife, money and everything like that. And he's a fucking lovely guy, and he didn't want to unload any of that problem to me. And I'm like, why? Your problem is a problem for you.
Yeah.
It's pretty simple. Are you struggling? Are you suffering? Well, then it's a problem. And like I've had to say it to multiple people before. Like I know girls from the gym, I know guys from the gym, and they're like, oh, I know you're going through a bit of shit. And I'm like, are you okay? And they're like, I was like, just fucking say it. Just fucking say what your problem is. And it's literally like, oh, well, my problem is da-da-da-da. Okay, good. You spoke about it because that's the first shit. Trying to talk, but also just burdens are there. They're always going to be there, but learn to fucking let people help you share. Like, it's the weirdest thing to learn. It took me fucking 34 years. I mean, mind you, a couple of those years were just me shitting in myself and eating sand. I did eat sand as a 1-year-old. Multiple times. Explains one or two things, not all of me. But it's true that it's as simple as that act.
Yeah, and I think it's important to also, related to the post I recently made, is that there's I think it's important to kind of teach people that there's a difference between, like, unloading and, there's a difference between...
Trauma dumping
and actually, like, asking for advice or something like that, you know what I mean? Because...
Well, it's even, like... Because even trauma dumping has its levels.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, people will go through shit and have no idea what to do. And it's another thing that's kind of been found is like those few minutes, like 8 minutes, I think they say it is, of talking to a friend when you're going through the shit is enough to actually bring you back.
Yeah, right.
And it actually is a thing because like I have PT sessions. My personal trainer's fucking hilariously autistic. He's a powerlifter too, so what do you expect? He's hilariously autistic. He knows he's autistic. It's great. You just give him some numbers and he'll figure it out, Sudoku or whatever. And I didn't realize how much I was using him as a part of my therapy, like just for myself, because like I was going through so much shit. Like I literally had sessions there when I was struggling, and not only did he not make me pay, which, well, badass because I didn't do anything. It was because like I'm literally crying for 40 fucking minutes going, I don't want to fucking lose my wife and everything like that. And I don't want shit to go wrong. And I've tried to kill myself. And he's just looking at me going, that's pretty gay. And he's really, really logical. Really, really logical to the point like, I mean, the dude has had no suicidal ideation in his entire life. Turns out other people have that too. And I'm like, I don't get that. I mean, I've just grown up with it. And I don't get it from my mum or dad. I've just got it. I don't understand that. But hey, that's genealogy. That might be that thing. Or I just might be a little bit too special in the head. And it's this thing of like, I'd be chatting to him and I don't realize the time because we just chat shit about so much things. I mean, we're both giant nerds. And we literally just nerd the fuck out on everything, whether it's new music, it's new Warhammer, it's us talking about his old band, Beneath the Rising Tide, how much he loves fucking playing along to drums, just how he's going with his training, his life. He's got this awesome new dog that he fucking loves. Great Dane, massive paws, fucking hilarious. Loving, hearty, beautiful dog. And, you know, fuck me, therapy dog, basically. And he does this with just about every fucking client. Like, he doesn't even realize, I think he's taken on the role of a therapist for so many people. And if he does, he just doesn't see it as a position, so to speak. He just sees it as he's chatting with his friends, his clients, and helping them with shit. Because everybody goes through shit. He's told me other people going through worse shit than me in reality. And I go, fuck, they've got it worse. And it's like, yeah, they have got it worse if you want to compare. But there's no point in comparing shit. Shit is bad. Bad is shit. That's it.
But the way I've always seen it as well is that it's, you know, there's a lot of power in that, because, you know, of course, like, some people are always like going through it worse, or some people don't have it as bad. But it's, you know, one of the main, you know, purposes that you can kind of put into healing yourself is that, like, once you go through some really terrible shit and you manage to pull yourself out of it and come out on the other side, there's an entire demographic of people that you can now help. Because, you know, like, for example, you know, obviously go through a divorce and all this kind of stuff, you know, to that...
Not fun.
But, you know, to the young bloke
I'm against marriage right now.
But, you know...
Same-sex couples, go nuts. Like, I think your ratios are better. But what the fuck?
But again, like, you know, now, you know, for the young bloke who just had his girlfriend break up with him after 2-3 years, you know, who thinks that his life's over.
Yeah, first love, all that. All
you know, like,
that one.
You've got sage-level wisdom of advice for...
I want to be one of the 6 sages from Ocarina, please.
Yeah. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of power that comes with the trauma and the wounds that you kind of go through.
Well, it's definitely not hard times create hard people. It's bullshit. It just makes you more aware of shit. It makes you more aware of yourself, because that's kind of what it is. It's a lot of self-reflection, self-realization. Even for me, like, my self-reflection goes back and looking at things and going, that was actually a bit of a point there where I was a problem or something else was going on. And it sucks sometimes, because you go, I was a dick. Yeah. Or I didn't notice someone was being a dick to me because I didn't want to think that they would be. And it's hard when you have to accept that someone would treat you such a way because you don't see them that way. It's... The healing process does have to have lonely times, because it does. It's fucking soul crushing. It is, because you're already fucking crushed as it is. I mean, my biggest one was a breakdown I had after we got the house ready to be sold. She came over. She had already left me at this point, and her mum. Thank fuck for her, because she's lovely. I still get along with her parents really well. And they helped me out. We did all the gardening, got things painted, sort of thing, and just cleaned up the house so the pictures could be taken and everything like that. And it was the end of the day. They'd left, and I still had to clean out the shower. So I cleaned out the shower, and I hop out of the shower, and it was this weird, surreal moment of just how fucking alone you feel and how fucking defeated you feel. I heard my foot echo in the house. It seems so insignificant. And I've chatted to other people who have gone through something just as similar, and it's a smell, it's a sound, it's a certain picture or something, not of them even, just of something. Mine was that foot echo.
And there's just like an absence of energy
everything
around you.
It's just a void, and all I did was fall on the floor and cry for half an hour. Like, I literally just crawled on the floor, cried for half an hour, wondering what the fuck happened. Everything's gone. I've lost everything. And I'm just sitting there, and then I get up after half an hour and I go to my dad's place. I go have a shower, I go have dinner with him, and then I go back because I'm not there at my dad's yet, and I'm still sleeping on a swag on the floor by myself and getting up for work. And then I get home and I just start crying again because I can't hold it in. I don't fall asleep till 3 o'clock, and I've got to get up in 2 hours for work. And you have no idea what the fuck's going on. It's really dark. It's hard. That was a bad point. I was pretty close to calling Suicide Hotline and Beyond Blue, or even just turning up at my friends' doorsteps, because a bunch of friends have said, if you need to, just turn up. And they're close by. They'd rather be annoyed at 3 a.m. that I've turned up than
the old
call. Well, fuck, I'm not allowed to. People keep telling me I'm not allowed to. Like, okay, you don't control me, but okay. It really is. It's a like, my aggressive positivity has been a big thing recently, because I can't just be general cheery, happy, spiritual positivity. We know I can't. I'm too loud, too boisterous. I can't do meditation as it is, and like it's this singlet I've got, and it literally says, I'd rather hear about your demons than your death.
Yeah.
And a lot of people would rather hear about your demons than your death. And you don't realize that because, of course, you don't think anyone's there. You feel the one person you wanted to be there is not there, and that's it, because you focus so hard on them. And they aren't there. And you have to learn to live with that. And that's, it's like, yeah, there. See, I'm just so fucking self-depreciating. Just live with it. Like, no, it's not. It's like, there's shit to go on for, but you have to find it. And it can suck, but reaching out to my friends in the end was a big factor.
100%.
And, you know, my family didn't even know shit was going wrong till my ex-wife moved out. That's how long I held on. That's how bad things were. Like, I just didn't talk because I thought it was easier to not annoy people with my shit. I thought I could fix it by not causing more problems at home. I thought if I, literally as I said in the post, if I don't say anything, if I just go quiet, if I don't respond to the negative things, then they don't exist. There's no fights. Well, that just made it worse.
Yeah, and I think as well, like a lot of the time, you know, people kind of, like, obviously there's the whole case of not wanting to come across as a burden to the people you care about. But I think as well is like the main tricky thing that happens is that once you talk about it,
it's a floodgate.
Like that's it. Like, you know, and I think it comes a lot down to like the denial of what's going on as well. Because when you do verbalize it, like that's when you're really confronted about with how you're feeling about things.
Shit, yeah. It really is a big floodgate opening too. Because once you do it once, and it's you think you're oversharing and everything like that. Okay, maybe sometimes it is if you get too detailed.
Yeah.
But it's kind of part of it, because if you don't accept that it's happening, well, you can't process it. And I wasn't accepting things because I didn't want them to change, and they did. I mean, it's a hard thing to bring up, but I was self-harming throughout a lot of it. Not just with alcohol. I was literally cutting my leg. I had a razor blade, and while everything was turning to shit, I used cutting myself, because people who have done self-harm understand it's a really hard thing to kind of bring up, because obviously it's a bit taboo. It's still seen as that, like, attention seeking or something. It's like, well, nobody knew I had these cuts for a reason, not even my wife.
And that is it, eh?
And
like,
she didn't know. Like, she literally didn't know, and I'd cut across my leg a fair few times. One spot I didn't have a tattoo at the time, which I'd got a tattoo covering over it. Got a Balrog, thankfully. And it was to do with that type of self-harm. It's used as a control.
Yeah.
It's a weird control. It sounds so weird when you do actually talk about it out loud. I say no, because my emotions were so fucked. I was so heightened. I didn't have control in anything, is what it felt like. I didn't know what the hell's going on. When you lose your passion, you lose direction. When you have somebody who's not reciprocating how you feel about them, or even the way you love or be loved, because that was my thing. I'm very physical, as you know. You definitely know. So I took it on myself, literally, and I'd do a big old cut across my leg and go, fuck, this hurts. And then I'd wash it in the shower. I'd put a Band-Aid over it so I didn't bleed on the cupboards. And she didn't know the whole time until I had a breakdown in July, when I finally told her that's what's going on with me. Which I trauma dumped on her, and that didn't help things. And understandably so. Don't have to trauma dump all the time, guys. It does happen, but don't do it if you can avoid it. Just talk, because that's the thing.
And it is that simple, isn't it? Just like, well, not even that. I think even it's healthy, you know, for even people who, you know, may not even be going through anything at this point in time, but just to develop the muscle of talking to your friends and being honest about.
Oh, dude, just just go out and chat with them.
Yeah,
drink coffee. Lunch, just catch up for a fucking hike. I've had a few just take me on walks, fucking fire trail and shit like that. And, you know, you just let out what the fuck's actually happening in your life. And you realize sometimes some of the things that are going on in your life, they are crap.
Yeah.
And you don't think they're crap. You just think it's part of life.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's crap.
That's not good.
What do you mean? Oh, that's not, oh.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Shit. No, like, it's that. It's like, oh, you're not sleeping much? Like, you're stressed? I'm like, yeah. It's like, that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to sleep, apparently. We're like, I mean, hell, I did, after that week of getting told she can't do this anymore, I slept 17 hours in 5 days. I started seeing shit.
I remember, because I was always like perplexed, because I'm like, Because you used to, obviously, like, I mean, you always, like, have gone to the gym and you're like, yeah, I stay up till, like, midnight every night. And I'm like, what?
Yep.
Like,
that's just a problem I have.
like, what?
4 to 5 hours average, but when you start averaging 2, it gets a bit problematic.
Yeah.
And, it is those little bits of self-care. Because you lose them. Like, I stopped giving a shit about myself so much. Like, there's even a point where I literally had a bottle of whiskey in the day. She didn't even notice that I drank a whole bottle of whiskey. Just that's how much she'd really zoned out of our relationship. I just went through this bottle of whiskey, and then I did it again the next day. It was over the weekend, and then I'd get home at night, and I might go to gym, I might not. If I did go to gym, there was just no effort behind it, and then I'd still have a couple of whiskeys at night, and which, okay, whiskey or so here and there, sure, but when I'm pounding through fucking bottles, and I'm doing it just so I can fucking zone out. Like I was using it really, because it comes in many ways, and for me to not give a shit about my body when that's one of the things that I'm known for is actually giving a shit about myself. Funnily enough, it's another confronting factor. Like,
yeah, man, like
it's the spiral.
Watching you eat
the fucking tuna rice.
The tuna.
I knew exactly where you're going. That shit killed me 6 months straight.
Because what was it? It was
tuna, Mexican rice, tomato, salsa, and perinese. And yeah. So
that would have been like 80 grams of protein per
100 or something in that. And my God, the shits were lethal. I remember I dropped one in one of the trucks. That was bad. I had to fucking clean it out.
Oh, you dropped the...
I think it was an old truck. It's okay.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Dude, diet's full on, like...
Food, big factor.
Yeah, 100%.
Totally, because not eating is, like, obviously so much worse, and it's really easy not to eat with the high level stress. I was not eating at all for that week. Leading up to it, I was weighing like 85 at the start of last year, because I just dropped a couple kilos after being bulked up to 90 doing some of the training. And then at my lowest recently, I was about 72, 73.
Yeah, wow.
Which, I've sit around mid-80s easily because of what I do.
Yeah.
And because I just wasn't eating.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about myself. I wasn't trying to eat. I was surviving off caffeine because I'm like, fuck it. What do I care?
Yeah.
I could feel my heart beating in my eyeballs. There was a few moments where I got too caffeinated. Then there is such a thing. Like that moment out of Futurama with Fry, pretty close. I was halfway there. It was a lot of shakes and a lot of like, I think I'm going to shit myself. But
yeah. And that's something tricky as well. Like, like when you're like in particular with doing like tree work, like when you're going through shit, it is very difficult because if you're not eating or sleeping properly,
you're a hazard.
It's not just like you're just going to work and fucking chucking like door frames up. Like you're doing stuff that you could die doing.
Or
like
hurt somebody else.
Yeah, or potentially hurt someone else as well. So it's like I definitely feel that. Like I've been like back in February, like I went through a breakup as well. And like afterwards I was like, oh man, this sucks. And it was so that week was hectic. So I went through a breakup, started contracting for myself, and then fell out of a tree and nearly broke my spine.
I remember when you fell out of the tree.
One week, man, and I was like, this sucks.
Yeah, the big old kick to the dick when something bad happens. And like PT again, he so logic rock out of fucking like big mouth level shit. He looked at me and said, you're going through shit time. So when something generally crap in anyone's falling out of a tree, tripping over even, like, it's like it just feels fucking tenfold because you already feel like shit. You already feel so down. It's not hard, and it does create a bit of a spiral. I literally do feel like I've been punched in the dick so many times that my knob is black. Just the bell end. Just that. It's just so bruised from getting all these fucking kicks to my dick and everything, and it doesn't feel like it gets better, but it's not that. It's just that things just suck at that moment. They're allowed to suck.
Yeah.
Shit's allowed to suck.
Life is suffering, mate.
Yeah, well, if we want to start getting to the Aristotle level of shit, like,
but in saying that as well, like the whole purpose of suffering is to end your suffering,
or to find purpose through suffering.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Peterson.
I don't know names.
I call you Wolfie, for God's sake. I forget your name half the time. I don't remember Brandon's name is Brandon. I call him Kingy for a reason. Nicknames are very powerful. Yeah. And, you know, like, because suffering is obviously an inherent part of existence, but suffering comes in many forms. And some people suffer fucking shit tons. Yeah. Like, I can't compare my suffering to some poor fucking child who's literally been given cancer at the start of life. Yeah. And yet that kid can fucking go on and do shit still. Maybe.
Yeah. Because I was gonna ask as well. Because I remember you snapped out of a tree a couple of years ago, didn't you?
That hurt.
What happened? Because you, what was it? It was a jacaranda, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was not in bloom because it didn't look very epic. It didn't look like a fallen samurai or anything when it hit the ground. It just hurt. That was a close call, actually. I got lucky that Beaver hadn't cut a limb off just yet. He got distracted. Because I bounced off that limb halfway down.
How high were you in it?
I was about 3 meters coming down. I'd spent like 2 hours up this thing on a high point, causing stress in every direction before it gave out. And it was literally on the descent. So not the ascent, the descent. Wow. Coming down, snaps out, thinking, tried to grab my rope like a spastic because you just grab for anything. You're like, I'll grab it. Yeah. Bounced off the limb that Beaver needed to take originally, but left. Lucky he did, because otherwise I would have smashed my head into like a foot high deck. I don't think the helmet was going to help with that one. And then just slammed into the ground. And then I remember going bang. I'm like, oh no. And I look up and I see the limb coming down at me in slow motion. I'm like, oh no. And I just roll back over. Like, don't hurt. Just like, oh shit. And it was Big Al and Holden were watching me at that moment.
Fucking Holden.
Classic unit, that kid. But Big Al's just like, oh no! Didn't really come over and do anything. Big Al's like, old guys, just so you're aware, he's nearly died on the fucking trying to work. Car hit that man, the car got damaged and he still apologized. Like, it was just, he's gone, oh no, and just like, just didn't do anything. And I'm like, okay. Holden's jumped over me trying to say, you all right? And I'm like, roll away from me, get away. I want to look up. And I just like remember trying to roll over and
it's
fucked.
Yeah, because when I fell out of a tree, because basically, it was my first day working with a particular crew, like contracting, and it was a house in, I don't know, Brighton or something. It was ornamental pears.
Fancy. But of course it was a bloody bitch.
But
mine's his favourite.
They wanted the ornamental pears cut down to second story gutter height.
The nice wispy tip area.
And I'm like, why did you accept this? Like, this is so dangerous. And then, so I'm like, couldn't even stand on anything. And I'm like, but I'm tied into this like decent.
Well, you think it's decent.
For how decent it is. But the one that I had to cut as well, there were a lot of a defense line from the neighbor's joint. And
love that.
I'd done the whole thing, and there was like one left. So I was probably maybe I was above single story height. So like. Decent amount still. And there was like one branch left, and I had my 200, and I was like, reach for it, and I feel myself like going backwards, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here? And then it just snapped.
Coming at you.
And I fell, went like middle of my spine, landed on the fence, hit that.
Some good marks on that one.
Like, rolled off, and then my rope snagged in the tree, and I was like nearly planted on the ground, and I was like. And that was like the first time in my life where I've ever been like, holy fuck, did I just break my spine? Like, am I going to be all right after this? And
it's like when you scorpion yourself the first time.
Yeah, and then they all come over and they're like, are you all right? I'm like, fucking get me down. Like, what are you doing?
No! I'm not okay right now. I'm
trying to like get off, and they're just standing there. I'm like, get my fucking rope off me. Like, help.
People panic, unfortunately, and they just don't know what to do.
And I was like, and they're like, are you all right? I'm like, yeah. And then they're like, I don't think you're all right. I'm like, no, I'm good. And then like, this happened at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, great. First couple hours of the day.
I was like, I can't not finish the day. Like this is my career now. Like, I need to finish the day. So ended up climbing 3 more.
Very awkwardly.
And it was all like, it was, because it was my right lumbar that really copped it. And then herniated my disc and damaged the one above it and below it.
No half-assing, always full ass.
Yeah. So I had to finish that, and then went to another place where I climbed another, like a lily pilly or something, and cut a whole bunch off that. And then I did 2 more removals after that. The whole time I'm like just popping painkillers because I'm like, I just got to get through today. Just got to get through today.
It's a wondrous thing, isn't it?
This was on Valentine's Day as well.
Oh, great. So emotional memories.
And then finished the day, and then I was like, Silosis is playing tonight. First time they'd been back in 12 years. And I was like, so I'm not seeing my favourite band of all time.
That you've already paid for too. That's
Yeah,
I remember you trying to get me to come along.
No way I was missing it, man. And I like, yeah, then end up going up there, caught up with one of my mates, and I was like, dude, I like may have broken my back today. Like I still don't know what's going on with it.
I am out.
Yeah. And then
That's all it is. It's just fucking pain.
yeah, fortunately my uncle's a Chinese medicine practitioner, and I called him up and I was like, hey, I may have like broken my back. I don't know. Like at this point in time, like I fell out of a tree and landed on a fence, and you know, like all this.
Haven't got an X-ray.
Yeah. And he was like, he's like, yeah, you're going to have to come and see me, but by the sounds of things, like you're going to have to wait 3 days for the swelling just to go down because I can't do anything. And then, but I was like, I couldn't move after that. Like I was, like obviously the adrenaline got me through the day, but when I woke up...
For some of it. The pain pills did the rest.
Yeah, and but when I woke up in the morning, like even laying on my back and trying to like, getting to like rolling onto my side in bed, it took me like 5 to 10 minutes just to get to that position of agonizing pain. But yeah, and then I don't know how I managed to do it, but I healed my body that quick that I was back to climbing trees in 10 days.
Steroids.
But,
he's on the trend, guys. But, look at him.
Yeah, but that just came down to like, I just like spent a lot of time meditating, eating really well, and just
resting. Positive
reinforcement.
But you have to rest.
Yeah, resting, talking to my body about how healthy it is, and just all this kind of stuff. And then
just touching your back, were you?
But I was able to work again within like a week and a half, and then the herniated disc was
time.
Yeah, it took maybe a month until that was all right. But yeah, it was quite miraculous how quickly I managed to heal from it. But yeah, but like when you go for a fall like that was the first time where I was like, man, have I like broken myself? Like, I don't know what's going to happen here. And yeah, good times, man. Like falling out of trees.
That's a joke. Just ask the other ones who have fallen out of them.
Yeah. Well, I don't know many people who have fallen out of
Lanzi.
them. Yeah,
Izzy's had a close call.
Has she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ruben Day, definitely. Multiple times.
He went through the shed.
Wasn't even in a tree.
It was on the shed.
It's on the shed and it fucking broke. And then he tried to put it back together to hide it. Oh, that unit.
It was actually funny yesterday. I was in the work truck driving around, and I was like, I miss Ruben. I haven't seen him for ages. And then turned the corner and he's driving past in one of the little Fuso trucks. And I was like, that's crazy, man. But yeah.
That's a character and a half.
I miss him.
He's entertaining. Then he's also concerning.
Yeah.
What do you get? It keeps it weird.
Yeah. But I was going to say, like, we're kind of getting through the podcast here. But I was going to say, yeah, like, do you want to talk a bit more about... like any of like the beard villain stuff that you do, or for anyone who's potentially interested in that kind of stuff? Because I thought it was kind of cool. Like I was thinking about it because, you know, obviously you have a nice beard and
takes time.
And what, like the whole concept behind it. Well, it's not about necessarily even having to have beards, but it was
no, because there's more than the beard. Yeah. Like, look, that's the thing I think everyone forgets is there's tons of groups in reality for men's mental health. They're out there. I mean, there's the Black Dog Institute for rides and stuff like that. I think there's a few Blokes Advice even's kind of taken more of a turn from what it started out on Facebook.
Yeah.
So it used to be like titty pics, I think, on Facebook. It was a group. And then it just turned into people actually talking about it. I'm like, cool. Yeah. There's the Brotherhood Oz. There's those guys. But even something as simple as just finding a community style thing. It's kind of there. It really does come to that. Because like I've got friends who aren't in like community groups like the Bearded Villains and stuff like that, and they're all sick people. And they're just, their community is powerlifting group.
Yeah.
Strongman group. But they do shit too. Like you forget that your gym runs a lot of stuff too. And it sounds simple, but like my friends from that, like they might not have many people from the gym that they actually interact with. They might only have a few, but that's how they find people. And that's how they find like-minded people. And it just makes their life easier because they can relate with somebody. And I've chatted so much shit with people going on, girls, guys, everything. Like a couple of the girls at gym have been going through some seriously shit. Like one has had proper like kick to the junks regularly. One's had one of those kind of with the relationships and stuff like that. The same one's also had more stuff with other shit, like those kind of things. Like my bearded villain group's one that I found through a friend who was in it as well, and it's really sick because like it's little things. Like if we have a charity idea or an event or something, we run it by everyone. It's a huge global network. There's actually chapters all around the world. And they can literally, like, if you can grow a beard over a couple inches, you can generally join. And look, if it's not for everyone, because it's not. Sometimes people go, okay, I tried that kind of style. It wasn't for me. I still got great friends out of it that now are either beardless or just shorter beards. And they still do things that involve community. Like I got one of them, the guy who introduced me to it, Ben, he runs Phillip Island Sauna, and he runs a sauna. It's a little one, sits on Cape Woolamai, really cool. Sick. And, you know, things like that. It allows, he still has the involvement in community, and it creates a communal post. When you're dying in a sauna at 90 degrees, it's amazing how much you'll chat shit with people of just the suffering. Because, again, it's suffering. And then cold dipping in, like, you know, the bay and shit. It's sick.
Because I always thought it was, like, quite cool because I never really thought about a lot of, like, the community aspect of things. Because, yeah, like, even, like, going back to, you know, when, like, you and I met, we're like, oh, cool, other guy with stretched ears and long hair and tattoos. And, like, you know, because of that, we were able to, like, connect quite a bit. And,
real quick.
You know, when it comes to, I think that people kind of either like, not that they don't realize, but I think that they kind of like lessen the importance of what your image means to you. Because I know as well, like, yeah, it's always like you obviously like look the way you do because it's like a tale of your story in your kind of way. It's the way that you express yourself. And like when it does come to like, the beard villain thing, it's like, I can't grow a beard for shit. Like I've tried and it doesn't look good.
Some people try. It doesn't happen. It's okay. There are other places.
Yeah, but it's just cool that
as long as somebody's willing to sit on your face, it doesn't matter.
But you know, it's just cool because like I know that with beards, like people love their beards. Like it's a thing.
Well, it's a routine.
And as well, like even, you know, you like walking down the street, like if you were someone to have something like that and you see another person like with a beard, there'd definitely be like quick glance and like appreciation because you both understand the effort and what's involved with that kind of stuff.
It's like looking at somebody with a shit ton of tattoos, knowing the pain they've been through for it.
Yeah, when I see someone with a throat tattoo, I'm like, holy fuck. Like sometimes I see people with like throat tattoos and I'm like, man, how'd you like manage that? And then I remember that I have one and I'm like, oh yeah, like
I didn't.
Sucks.
I cried.
It fucking sucks, man. But
if I have a beard, I don't have to get a throat tattoo then.
Yeah. I thought you did have something, didn't you?
No, I got my dick done.
Nice. In France, wasn't it?
No, by a Frenchman in England.
Yeah, nice.
I had no choice in the matter by the end. I've had some painful spots done on me. But that's me. I push the envelope when it comes to things. And that's part of me, is what I learned. Like, I mean, I've done a suspension once before. So
yeah, right.
Yep, that was really insane. I'm going to do another one in June.
Cool.
Yeah, it seems crazy, but you know, body mod community is definitely a big lot of people who go by that. I tailor how I feel. Some people don't like their pinky fingers; they remove them. Yep, some dude did it himself. Stretches, tattoos, piercings, like in general. Even just something as simple as hair. I mean, somebody puts effort into shit. You notice it. You notice somebody with long hair because you know time it takes to grow that shit. The effort to keep it looking actually like half fucking decent.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you can't ignore those kind of factors. They do. Again, it's the classic band T-shirt acknowledgement of each other in a fucking crowd. It's that. It's like, oh shit, you wear that one too. You're in Whitechapel right now, like bam.
I was actually, I remember I went to Esoteric last year, and I was like, because I've gone through a few phases, like, you know, I went through like the tripper phase and the doof phase, and eventually like, you know, obviously recently I'm looking more metal than I ever have because just had this moment where I was like, what did I want to become when I was older? And I was like, I wanted to be like Matt Tuck from Bullet for My Valentine. And like, you know, and also then, you know, now they're doing like the Poison Ascendancy tour and all that stuff with Trivium and everything.
He looks so different now.
But he looks amazing. like just he's like jacked.
Well,
like
Matt Heffy
healthy.
as well. Like,
yeah, Matt Heffy as well.
fucking-
Like, but you know, and it kind of, I think I was kind of holding off from doing that because when I went down the like wanting to do spirituality stuff, I think I was like, oh, am I gonna like?
Do I have to have the look too?
Am I going to alienate people by looking like a metalhead and having piercings and all this kind of stuff? But like the more I've kind of gone into it and the more I'm just being myself, I'm finding that a lot more people are connecting with me. I know that there are people who don't even listen to metal who are like, oh, like, you know, I kind of like metal, and it's like made them more interested in exploring different like alternative styles of music as well.
Well, I mean, music's a great connector for
Yeah,
a lot of it.
yeah.
And I mean, Ina Selvik of Wardruna just did the tour recently. He was originally the drummer for Gorgoroth.
Yeah, right.
He's actually got that famous picture of him standing out of Helvet Records. You'd actually know it, the long blonde-haired guy in that moment standing out the front of it. And he looks very different now,
Yeah.
as you'd imagine. Within his tour, at the very end, he was discussing the one thing every culture, every part of humanity has all done is music.
Yeah.
We created instruments, we created singing, chanting. We all did it. It's a way of grounding, and it's a big factor that kind of comes through in those kind of facts. Like, you literally go to a concert and you can make friends.
Yeah.
You have no idea where the fuck they're from.
yeah.
You have no idea of anything. Like, how many times have I bashed into someone in the pit and gone, whoops, and then you pick them up and you're arm in arm screaming the lyrics to whatever the fuck you're watching. It's a different thing. And it's like, even that was sitting down for Wardruna because it was at the Palais, and you're sitting down, you have no idea who these people are, and you just start chatting shit with them, and you find out about a bit them, how like they've waited so long to see this band or something.
Or if you have a tattoo of a particular band or something like that, people...
Oh, fucking, they love that.
Yeah.
I don't really have, I got black. That's enough to get people looking.
Yeah.
It's like it's a black arm. It's like, I mean, I've got a few nerdy ones, and that causes, obviously, a few chats here and there. But the music factor will always come back, because not just the people who live music, like you, obviously...
Like
live and breathe music sort of as much as you can.
Yeah.
Even just the people who just want to be involved around music. You know, like there's tons of people I know that they go to gigs so regularly.
Yeah.
I don't know how they do it.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how poor they are by the end.
But yeah, but it was just funny because, yeah, as I said, like with the band shirt thing, like, yeah, when I went to Esoteric, I was like, I'm just going to be that metalhead, like, you know. And I remember we're all waiting in line and I'm walking along, and this dude from his car is just like, the saw is the law, my dude. And I was like, my man, like, fuck yeah.
The most hippie Phil Bozeman sponsor ever.
So
Can you imagine Phil Bozeman in the 70s?
Oh, mate.
The saw is the law.
It was so good. And I was like,
Wait, what would a 70s vocal scream be from fucking him?
something like, I don't know.
Would it be like a hair metal level? Like, the saw is the law! What the fuck?
That latest Whitechapel album, holy shit.
Sick.
Mate.
Throwback to old school Whitechapel, man. Makes me aroused.
So good.
My pants are tight.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I don't think like the mix on that album is like I don't think they could fit any more noise into it. Like
it's a noise terror. It's great.
Just insane how good it sounds.
It's a wall of sound. It's beautiful.
But yeah, and I think that's like not to kind of go further, but like
Oh, it's happening.
but it's like that's something that I've found is very interesting in music as well, is like, because like obviously we both kind of bonded over Shining as well.
That's for anybody who doesn't know Shining, it's not the movie.
It's not the movie.
It's not, and that's what shocks people when they start watching anything to do with Kavathov.
Yeah, because I've got two like signed prints of his as well, and like, but even I found myself in a weird position where I was like, why do I love this so much? And
It's like that with black metal in general, really.
Yeah, but like just in particular, like Harmstead, like that album in general, and what's it called, Lat Os. Like the
I can't
it's all in
pronounce it.
Swedish.
It's another
but,
language.
but you know, like it was very interesting, like listening to it, and it's, you know, a lot of people talk about, you know, like the meaning behind music and whether it's like positive or negative, all this kind of stuff. And you know, here
Kavathos negative.
you know,
End of story.
listening to, you know, suicidal, depressive black metal and like just songs that are designed for people to kill themselves to,
Quite literally.
like, and have
Yes.
done so.
Not like 1989 level, like nothing as fancy as that.
But it's just very interesting, and the way I've kind of like perceived it is that it's like, I think it's like beautiful the way that he's managed to create art from such a dark subject matter.
Well, art should hurt. I'm sorry, like good art, it hurts.
Yeah, it does.
It does, because like even it's something as simple as blacksmithing. It sounds weird, but it's artistic.
Actually, you've started blacksmithing.
I randomly just did a course because I mean, seriously, look at me. Of course, I look like a fucking blacksmith. Like at very minimum, didn't burn my beard. Fucking weird.
Nord from Skyrim does black.
Yeah, literally, just nothing but fucking steel daggers.
Yeah,
like that's a form of art. Music, it's usually emotional pain, mental pain. That's what comes out. The anguish, or even, I know it sounds stupid, but even like happier sounding songs have a lot more behind them. Like, fuck, you try getting happy and writing lyrics. It's fucking impossible. I can't do it. I don't know I don't know. It probably takes a team of 5 because I mean, all the single ladies took how many people to fucking write it? And like, dude, who the fuck thought of all the single ladies?
Yeah,
you know, seriously. Like, again, can't do that. And then, you know, it takes one dude with severe depression and suicidal tendencies and fucking mutilating himself on stage and creates something not everyone gonna like.
Yeah.
Because nobody likes when it's too real in a way. Like, because there's tons of sad. Like, you can't tell me fucking country music is not sad. Like, seriously, I actually like country music. And it's so depressing when you hear about it because, of course, it's the worst thing to listen to when you're going through a divorce or a breakup because it's all about that. I was like, fuck. It's like my PT like pointed out, I can't listen to country music. I'm like, I listen to metal. I'm like, I can't listen to metal because I listen to the bad metal. It makes me more sad. And I'm like, I'm in a loop here, man. So, like, you get stuck in other shit. And
you just need to listen. You just need to listen to Exercise in Futility.
Oh, fuck it. It's basically just Electric Callboy a lot of the time right now because it's basically just fucking techno mixed in. Old school dirty doof beats with freaking metal screaming. Beautiful. But it's like, it's a thing where, you know, all the good art like comes from that. You can't, like, all Van Gogh.
Yeah.
Dude was drinking paint.
Yeah.
With lead. On top of drinking. On top of holding a gun in his mouth by the end. Like, it was fucking hell for him.
Yeah.
But he created some of the best art the world will ever know. The Renaissance, they loved their drugs. And if it wasn't the drugs, it was the fucking self-flagellation.
Yeah.
Like, it's... A part of art is always pain. A part of good art will always have drops of blood, sweat, and tears in it.
Yeah, 100%.
There's no way to avoid that because it's no different to hard work. All the things you work for is going to cause you shit. You lose shit, that's part of it. Like, unfortunately, to get something, you have to lose things. I mean, you'll sacrifice friendships. You'll sacrifice relationships. Some people will do that. Some people do that. Some of us like to hold our oaths fulfilled. Others don't. That's fine. Totally not bitter about that at all. You know, everything comes at a sacrifice. And art is probably the biggest expression of how much you will sacrifice.
100%, man.
Will you sacrifice your mental health, your physical health, your monetary safety? Because we know the amount of people that sleep in fucking vans just to have their music come out.
Oh, yeah.
And the amount of music that starts but doesn't go anywhere and is still amazing.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, this day and age, it's harder, weirdly enough, even though music can be put out more. It's saturated.
Well, yeah, like the market's saturated, but at the same time, you can spend $300 for a home studio and create everything for yourself and distribute it yourself. So it's one of those things, man. And I think that, like, art is the most important thing that we have because that's it's our method of translating the things we go through into something that can be acknowledged by other people in like in an intrinsic fashion. But yeah, and that's, you know, for me personally, of course, like, I'm obviously quite artistic. And I found
autistic or artistic?
You know, I found that
it could be both.
You know, and I found that that's the main thing that keeps me going. Like, there's, you know, I don't care for money. I don't really care for anything. Like, if money were not an option, I would be playing music all the time. It's all I would do. And I think that it's important that people kind of figure out what that creative desire of theirs is, because it's just, I don't know, it's just important in a way that can't really be explained.
Well, you should always have a passion for something.
Yeah.
Look, sometimes the passion for people is money. Okay. That's how some people are.
Yeah.
But for sometimes it's, in the strength world, it's a total. It's getting a certain amount, it's getting a certain lift, and whether it's a world record or your own.
But that's art in itself as well, because
and that hurts.
It's it's because in the weightlifting world, it's not just about lifting the weights. It's about the lifestyle that you have designed in order to achieve that.
You got to turn up.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, figure out what you're passionate about.
There is a line though, guys. Don't get weird about it. We're not into certain things.
Like what?
Children.
Yep. Fair enough. Yep.
Unless it's school teaching, different meaning. It's okay. Teach the future by all means. Teach them well.
Yeah.
But you know the lines.
Yeah. They get blurred a bit around you, but yeah.
Just with you. You're of age. Shut up. It's legal. I'll always keep it PG-13-ish. Hey, that's what happens. Just because my ass is on the internet. Like an OnlyFans model.
Oh, yeah, you did post that, didn't you?
Totally.
Oh.
Hey.
Well,
art.
I feel...
Hey, if an OnlyFans model could do it, I could do it too.
Yep, all right. Yeah,
Actually, not even OnlyFans models do it. Sometimes it's just some chick. And then there's just me.
Yeah.
Attracting all the bears unintentionally. Fucking Jesus. I cause my own problems sometimes. There's like Salt Bay now. There's motherfucking God with chili in my fucking box.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Well, I feel we've kind of touched on
a lot.
I
mean, we can keep going, unfortunately. The suicide shit can always keep going, but
yeah. I
think it's just with that sort of stuff, understand it's not a problem to talk. It's hard, by all means. It fucking sucks.
Or even learn to talk.
Learn to talk.
And to establish, even just like a close friend or
And to ask. Ask people shit about their day. Ask them about their life. Because it's not just you at the end of the day who kind of wants to be able to talk about how work went. Like, fuck me, work can go shit. Tell somebody it went shit. Don't hide that.
Yeah.
Even if it is literally other people from work. Tell them how shit the day was. They'll sympathize. They'll understand.
But also if it's also become aware of whether you're unloading or actually, looking for advice. Because a lot of people, I feel like they don't really understand the difference of that.
Yeah, you can always ask.
Because, if it can make a big difference to, rather than say coming home and just being like, oh my God, and just venting and unloading, rather than finding someone that you trust and be like, hey, do you mind if I vent about something and seek your advice on this situation? Because at the end of the day, if you're not learning from it or trying to make steps in order to alleviate what you're going through, then it's just going to keep repeating.
If it's not a venting situation.
Yeah.
Because there are sometimes it's just a shit day.
Yeah.
And that's fine to have a shit day.
Yeah, absolutely it is.
Shit days, because God damn, it makes life easier.
But,
tell somebody they're shit. I mean, no, don't do that. Tell them just to be better. You're not mad. You're just disappointed.
But as I said, venting's good, but everything in moderation. You know what I mean?
Look, if you struggle with wanting to open up to people, because that can be a big factor. Judgment will come from that, is what you think. Usually, if they're actually your friend or your family, they're not actually going to judge you. They just want to help you in the end. But if that's what you struggle with, you have things, Suicide Hotline, Beyond Blue. There are resources these days. If you're struggling, you can go to your GP. You can get your therapy sessions because it's a safe space. You get 10 sessions massively subsidized. You get reevaluated. And fuck, you might even find out you have some mental disorder that you actually didn't know. And it can actually help a lot of people to find out if they have something. It's not the fact that magically autism appeared or anything like that and all these different things. It was always there, guys. Trust me, when Granddad used to eat the same thing every day, that was not, he just had a routine. There was a reason there was a routine. It's because you might find out there's a way, and it helps you with coping. It brings out your coping mechanisms. It's like people manage to understand your way of reacting to things. I found that with other people who got diagnosed with ADDs and stuff like that, different versions of autism, because there are. People who go, oh, I literally just suffer from anxiety and depression. Okay, shit, you don't want me to hide anything from you if you are asking me a question or anything like that. You want me to be able to talk to you openly. And if you do feel like you're depressive, because I've dealt with a fair few people with depression, sometimes you can pick up on the smaller things, knowing that they've got that and go, oh, you're in an episode right now and you need somebody just there. They don't always want to talk, literally, because they don't. And it's not, don't force them.
Yeah.
Just don't. And it's worse when you keep what's wrong. Then the anxiety can set in on them and shit like that.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they feel, that's when they feel there's a pressure. That's when they feel
Yeah.
bad. Sometimes somebody wants you just to sit there, watch a shit show with them, drink, eat ice cream. Like it sounds like the perfect Bridget Jones's Diary moment. But fuck, it literally is. They don't want to engage, but they just need somebody there. They want to know that they're not a burden, that somebody will turn up for them. And it does make, like, it fucking saved my life. One of my friends turned up for me at the end when shit went really bad, and like I literally wouldn't be here if she didn't come over that night, and we literally just drank a fuck ton of whiskey. And like all I did was pretty much cry, but all she did was just sit there and chill with me. Like I've had tons of friends now do that now. I've stayed on couches just to keep myself out of my shit situation at times, and you need that. You need to learn to lean on people and know that they're not just saying it. Don't take it as pity, because some people do that and think you're being pitied. It's like, dude, if they give a fuck about you, they're offering for a reason.
Straight up.
No matter how shit things are, you can find someone to help you through your shit. Don't do the thing. Don't go to take the permanent dirt nap. Don't do the permanent dirt nap. It's not as much fun as you might think, because you're leaving it with everyone else then. It's the hardest part. And I mean, it's one thing, like I've got a few things that get me through this. One is when I'm in a bit more of a negative space, I have to remind myself, don't let my mum see my grave. It sounds brutal, but don't let my mum see my grave. And if there's one thing more positive, it's the Riddler Strider from Tolkien. Way more positive. Would suggest just recanting that one, 'cause especially when you get Christopher Lee recounting it, it's fucking orgasmic. But shit like that, you can find little affirmations. Is what they actually are, because they are. They don't have to be the light. Like, fuck no, I'm not the light. We know that. Like, if I'm the light, I'm the Balrog at the end of the tunnel. It can be fucking aggressive. It can just be, don't fucking quit. It can be, fuck this, I can keep going. It doesn't have to be the most positive thing said for you to think that it's something worth going with, because it couldn't work. Like, that shit just don't work for me. We know it doesn't work for me. Like, I have to have something that's aggressive in how it is, and that's just how I am. I am aggressively positive. I am very chaotic. I can't stop that. I realize that is who I am, and when people can't handle me, it's like, you can just choke on me. So,
cool.
Turn up.
Well, no, thanks for coming on the podcast.
Ooh,
it's been good. Again, like if there's anything you want to talk about, or like links or services to wrap it up.
Definitely, we'll chuck on a few. You can put the suicide ones and stuff like that.
I'll chuck them all in the description as well.
Always just, other than that, just check in on your mates.
Like
check in even on your family. Because you can forget how quiet things can be yourself. Just fucking turn up for people.
Cool.
Don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick. Well, thanks for watching, everyone. Appreciate it. This has been Andy Cass from Beard Villains again. And thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Peace.